Real Madrid 0, Real Sociedad at 2. This was really bad from Real Madrid, wasn't it? At home, you know, against a team that are mid-table.
Look, we had Sid on the show last week talking about Real Madrid and when they return from the World Club Championships, that they always start slowly, so maybe that offered a bit of an excuse. But at home, to a team who were 3 points outside the relegation zone, you feel Real Madrid should have gotten it done. And yes, they had some hard breaks. Maybe a couple of penalties should have been given. Benzema should have done better with his effort. But we should not, under even those circumstances, be sitting here talking about Real Madrid losing to Real Sociedad. And not just that, not a whole lot to speak about other than Vinicius Jr. He was the only player who gave anybody any reason to get out of their seats. Other than that, it was totally flat, it was listless, and in the end, they get what they deserved.
That spine of the team is still there, in theory, isn't it, Paul? You take a look at the midfield today, Modric, Kroos, Casemiro, Benzema up front.
But it's if you look at the unit, Dan, you know, the back four, with the space in between the back four was poor, the midfield was all over the place. When you know, as you say, Vinicius, the young kid, 18 years of age, he lit the Bernabeu up today. He was fantastic. But you can't win games with one player. Everybody else, there was no enthusiasm, there was no passing and moving. There was absolutely nothing going on with it. When they went one down, we thought, OK, all right, we get it. You know, they're at home, they're going to start to come good. But they didn't. You know, you look at Benzema with that chance on his left foot. That's a golden opportunity to get your side back into the game. And it didn't look as though he was bothered on the finish. You know, at least hit the frame. There was the whole unit. If we'd have run it back a little bit to that second goal, they had him caged in on the left-hand side. I think there was 3 Real Madrid players. When the ball was released from that pressure, they just turned and walked back. Hence, when the ball comes into the box, it's an easy finish. It was dreadful.
And from a coach's perspective, how much does this fall at Santi's door, and how much is this just a problem overall with the team?
Well, it's difficult to say, but I think it's at both doors, because Santi's got to get a grip on him. He's got to have a serious word with these boys, because that. Do they listen anymore,
Paul? Is this the problem with the team, given that they've won everything?
It's possible. Everybody keeps saying, "Well, this is Real Madrid. They're a Champions League side. They're going to turn it on when the Champions League comes around." But that's not good enough for Real Madrid. Yeah. This is the world champions. They can't play like this. It's incredibly bad.
To your question, Dan, I'm willing to give Santi Solari the benefit of the doubt for the time being. It's just that I feel with this team, and Paul spoke about it, and he highlighted when we were watching the game, the problems with the second goal. And you feel that that's symptomatic of this Real Madrid team, not just now, but over the last few years. In the league, they take things for granted. They're far too complacent. They're different in the Champions League. And I think maybe you may see that when the Champions League restarts next month. But other than that, a couple of changes, one player in Cristiano Ronaldo leaving doesn't make this big a difference. This is about a mentality and an attitude of players who save themselves for the big games.
What do we normally say when a side goes down to 10 men? What do we normally say? Whether it's Newport County, whether it's Real Madrid, whoever it is, you've got to pick up the slack. You've got to do better. And for the most part, 10 men usually play very, very well. It was as though they're down to 8 men, because that was absolutely unacceptable.